Hi, my name is Megan Rachel Stevens, and this is my assignment 3, oral storytelling. The story Mermaids by Richard Van Camp is a story that was quite touching to me, as its theme really told a story of empathy throughout struggle, and how people make choices after they've endured pain. The reason I chose this story is because something that happened to me when I was 16 years old kind of created a life that was potentially somewhat similar to Torchy's, in a way that there was a lot of self-sabotage and self-medication through certain behaviors. However, at 37, it's been about 10 years since I've kind of consciously tried to change my tendencies through, very simple strategies like healthy eating and exercise, all the way to, intense counseling and therapy for trauma in order to understand, as well as taking my psychology degree with the hopes of continuing my career helping youth, and hopefully helping them to make choices that make their future better, not worse. So my story is a scenario that happened when I was 15 years old, and it happened in kind of the town that I was raised in, that I lived in from 6 till 16. Okay, so the story begins December 26th at around 8 p.m. in 1999. And it was my best friend's, quote unquote, 16th birthday. And me and this other girl had been friends since we were 6. And there was 3 of us, and we were a trifecta within our small little town. Our kind of conflicts, I think, arose from different parenting styles, and kind of a competition within each other, which is, as I'm learning in psychology, which is kind of a typical peer interaction that happens with girls, especially in adolescence. And it can cause some problems if, the interpersonal conflicts are kind of dealt with in violent and abusive ways, which is really what bullying is. Bullying, when it happens within girls, looks very different than it does with boys. And, 25 years ago, it wasn't taken as seriously. So, and the long-term consequences weren't known. So it's that experience eventually guided me to my career and, making positive choices. But I really resonated with Torchy on his, his stories of burning things down and drinking and blacking out and gambling, but then eventually making the fantastic choice to help this little girl, because he saw how pain in your childhood, or adolescence in my case, can have long-lasting effects. So this story, yes, December 26th, 1999, my best friend's 16th birthday. This was a very small town in, Saskatchewan and Alberta. It's the border city, Lloydminster. And, the late 90s, early 2000s was, an interesting time to be an adolescent. There was a lot going on. However, this was a very shocking story for many reasons, because I was just I remember sitting on a couch like I am right now, kind of relaxed, and just looking around the room, seeing, all the different friends, the boys in older grades, being excited but relaxed. And being relaxed isn't one of my strengths. It never really has been. It's definitely gotten better. And I remember saying, "Oh, hey, Lindsay," was her name. "Do you remember that time that we smoked a joint with your dad?" And then crack. And then there is a sea of faces all around me, laughing, jeering. I could feel my hair being pulled. I could feel my clothes being ripped. And just flashes of faces and bright lights and moments of complete quietness, of chaos around me, but then all of the sounds that came with it in kind of a flashing type way. And then I remember just being really cold and noticing I didn't have my shoes. And again, it's December 26th in Alberta, Saskatchewan climate, and I am walking, and Lloydman, and this was in a acreage, and I'm walking, and I'm scared, but I'm not even fully aware or conscious of what's gone on. And it's a snowstorm, and all I see is like white in front of me, and a car that looks like my parents' old car, the old Toyota Tercel, is coming behind me, coming beside me, begging me to get in, saying that I'm gonna die. And it doesn't really make sense because I'm still thinking about what happened. I still don't understand really what happened. And I get in the car, I guess, and I don't really remember. And then I get home to my parents' house, and I leap to my mother's bed, and I collapse, and I scream from a place of fear, like primal fear. Like I could have died because of the weather, but also fear of not understanding people's behavior and how something like that can just happen almost out of nowhere. I survived. I am still very good friends with one of the girls, not the girl that all of a sudden hit me that day, that whole situation. And then the aftermath of how high school works, especially in a small town, caused me a lot of grief. And I made some very bad choices for probably almost 15 years after that incident, because a very disrupted sense of who people are in general was affected. And I have done a lot of work to try and understand how adolescence can be so difficult, and why adolescents make choices and not even realize how they can affect their lives and other people's lives forever. Thank you.